2020 is gone, shut your mouth. 2021, you better be good to me and damn good to my homegirls. Hey guys, welcome back to the first. Why do I always do this? I do this every single episode. It just needs to be one freaking finger. And now it's starting to get annoying because it's like, why do you do it? Anyway, welcome back to the first episode of Show Us This for year 2021. Is it just me or like, not only was 2020 hell, but it's 2021. Like I remember being in fourth grade and just writing down like, 2/14, 2004. It's just weird. It's just all weird. But I really wanted to come on here and do a lot of self-reflection. I've been going through a lot of things that I think will not just be a blessing to myself, but be a blessing to you guys too. And I think a part of therapy and overcoming some of your toughest trials is sharing. Not just sharing just to share, but to share because you never know who else is going through it and who else you can relate to. So let's talk about 25 things that I've learned while being 25. I turned 26 in like 3 weeks. Oh my God. Ooh, I turned 26. But I'm excited. I'm blessed to be turning 26, but I really want to reflect on life and tell you guys 25 things I've learned. And in 25 years, I've been on this crazy earth. So let's get right into it. The first lesson that we're going to talk about is a smooth sea never made a skilled sailor. If you're a very close friend of mine, I always talk about this quote. Shoot, you ain't even got to be a close friend. You can just be a stranger off the street. I'm going to tell you, a smooth sea never made a skilled sailor. So to break that down, it basically means like you won't get anywhere if you don't go through hardship. If you don't go through a sea that's just, not super tough to get across. Basically, if you go through a lake, then everything's going to be fine because you need a little weak boat to go through a lake. But if you go through a sea with creatures inside this water or with heavy tides, like that's going to teach you to be able to go against an ocean, right? So if you can get across the sea, you can get across the ocean. So basically what it's saying is, don't always invite things to be so easy. Don't always take the easy route. You want to go through trials and tribulations. You want to go through things that's going to stretch you and it's going to grow you and create you to be somebody that you've never imagined that you could be. Someone that's stronger, more resilient, more able to handle the hardships that life throw at you. And not just handle them because you have to handle them, but handle them with grace and handle them with intelligence and handle them with discernment. So that is my life quote. I'm probably gonna get it tattooed in a couple weeks. A smooth sea never made a skilled sailor. Lesson number 2 is something that my dad taught me when I was so young. He used to repeat this over and over as he would drop me off at school. And I was like, okay. But he was so right. And it's that 4 quarters is what you want and not 100 pennies. And this took me a very long time to realize because who doesn't want 100 pennies? Like who doesn't want to be liked by everybody? Who doesn't want to be, the person that everybody's like, oh my God, Taylor's so freaking cool. I love Taylor. But then I realized that if you're a real friend, if you really are invested in your friendships or your relationships, you can't have 100 pennies. Like the human physique, the human body is not built to be made for 100 pennies. Like you have to focus on your 4 quarters. And also in doing that, you'll realize that 4 quarters hold more weight than 100 pennies because it's more quality. And it's always going to be quality over quantity. So, find your star players and play that forward because having 100 pennies just create 100 problems. Didn't Jay-Z say that? Like 99 problems? Keep your 4 quarters. Number 3 is if you're a good friend, you can't be everyone's friend. Face it, right now in 2021, going forward, you're not for everybody, bro. And I feel like that hurt me the most because literally I feel like it's so much of me to just go around for everybody, but it's not. And everybody's not gonna like you. You don't like everybody. So how can you expect like everybody to like you? So just always be mindful that it's okay if people are not fond of you. As long as one person feel what you're doing and understand what you got going on, you are winning. So never be in pursuit of everybody liking you and realize that you're not for everybody. Number 4 is actually tatted on my arm here and it says, keep moving forward. And I think this is something that it really kind of makes me a little emotional because it's like we all go through so much. In all honesty, like I love to have fun, I love to joke and just be happy, but we all go through so many things. 2020, whether you lost somebody who was close to you or you lost somebody that you looked up to that was a celebrity or just a distant person that you really admired, no matter what it is, no matter what hardships come towards us, we have to keep moving forward. And life is going to continue to get tougher, and it's going to continue to test us, and it's going to continue to bring adversity. But what you want to be most proud of and what you want to be and model yourself after is someone who continues to move forward, someone who knows that a skilled sea never made a skilled sailor, someone who pushes out the debris of life and never stops and keeps going. So that one is very special to me because I've been through a lot, and I know a lot of you guys have been through a lot too, and I share that with you. But I think what makes me so special, what makes me so unique, is that I always move forward, and I hope you guys do too. All right, so I almost got a little emotional right there, but can't cry because this eyeliner is not gonna run on me, baby. But number 5 is to remain you. I actually have that tattoo right here on my hand, crazy enough. By the way, I love quotes. I tattoo quotes all over the place. It's my thing. But I think that in this world that is consistently trying to tell you who to be, what to look like, who to have sex with, what to eat, what to wear, what to do, what not to do, who to be friends with, who to hate, who to diss, what to tweet, what to Instagram post, like to just be you in this world is the biggest accomplishment. And it's so tough, you know, because who doesn't want to please the people that they love, the people that surround them? But what's most pleasing to the ones that you love is staying consistently you. So I pride myself on being somebody. I'm always like, look, baby, you can be the CEO or the janitor. I'm still going to be Taylor Jackson with you. And I have to check myself too and be like, hey, baby, don't act brand new. Don't do that. You know, don't think that you're better than anybody. Don't think that you're less than anybody. Remain who you are. The person that you are right now in this moment in January of 2021 is deserving of all great things. So continue to be that person. Always want to learn more and seek more to be a better version of that person that you are. So no matter what, remain yourself. Number 7 is being sexy is okay. Show it, sis. Baby, I have always, I'm not going to sit here and say I've always been confident because that's not a thing. Like I've definitely acquired more confidence as I kept going in life. But I've always wanted to have this feeling of revealing. Maybe it might sound bad coming out, but it's just like I've always just loved showing who I am. And it's not even physically. You know, sexiness is not just your physical appeal. Sexiness is your mind. Sexiness is how you treat people. Sexiness is your knowledge. Like, oh, I look here, I just got chills over myself because it's just like sexiness is not how you look, bro. It's not in how fat you're. I try to keep this G-rated. It's not in how big certain parts of your body is or anything like that. It's not about how pretty your face is. It's not about how much money in your bank account. You know, it's about literally how you treat people and how you wear the personality and the confidence and the fragrance of love and acceptance of yourself out loud, right? How do you wear the fragrance and love and acceptance out loud for yourself? That is what's sexy. Knowing that you love yourself completely and whole, and you can give that love out to people, you know, without even being asked to. When you can just be kind to those who don't have things that you have, when you can be sympathetic, when you can be empathetic, when you can be a listening ear, that's sexy, and that's what you're supposed to show. Sis, show that. That's sexy. Not out and got all riled up, but let me wrangle it back in and slow it down just a little bit. So the next lesson is that a bad day is not a bad life. And that is something that I just recently learned. And I think that, you know, 2020 gave us a lot of bad days, unfortunately. And sometimes when you have a bad day, we have the tendency of carrying that into thinking that we have a bad life. And one thing I remind myself is, Taylor, you're in your right mind. You're okay. You're in your right mind. You are okay. Like, say it with me. You are in your right mind. You are okay. So I really encourage you all to just sit and reflect and remember the things that you're grateful for that so many people might not be able to take part in. Number 8, check yourself. Acknowledge where you're wrong and check yourself. Because, you know, everybody isn't blessed enough to have great friends. Shout out to my best friends because, baby, none of them hold back. If I'm doing something wrong, you know who you are. But sometimes, actually not sometimes, all the time, the best reflection comes from really just looking and sitting in your spirit and realizing, okay, where did I go wrong? Did I hurt somebody's feelings? Did I say something that shouldn't have been said? Was it unnecessary? Like, you really have to be able to look in yourself and say, hey, I was wrong and I want to correct it, and play it forward. Don't just correct it because someone's telling you to correct it. Correct it because you know it's wrong and it shouldn't be going on. Correct it because you want to better yourself. Correct it because you want to hold yourself accountable. So definitely don't ever be afraid to check yourself. Number 9 is probably one of my favorite ones. Again, my dad gets the credit for this one. He low-key would say this to me and be mean about it. I ain't gonna lie. He low-key was mean about it. But he would always say, Taylor, don't burn your candles at both ends. And I would be like, what do you mean by that? But what that means is that do not commit to things that is not within your will. So don't tell person A, yeah, girl, I'll be there and I'm going to be there and it's going to be so much fun, and then forget about it. And then tell person B, yeah, I'm going to be there to make sure I celebrate. Now you're just committed to 2 things that you don't even remember that you committed to. And now you're rushing to get to place A and place B, and it's an hour apart from each other. And now you're mad, tired, and you don't know how to tell both of them no because you had a long day at work. It's just too much. So I think a lot of that comes from acknowledging that you might have to keep a plan. I'm kidding. But saying no. Let's make that lesson number 10. We're going to put 9 and 10 together. Saying no. Saying no and not burning your candle at both ends. And it's okay to say no. Sometimes that's the only explanation. Sometimes you can't say nothing else but no. No, I don't want to go to the party. No, I'm not going on a date with you. No, I don't have no money to go out to dinner tonight. No, I just want to sit at home and watch TV. No, I don't want to explain myself. No. It's okay to say no. So don't be afraid to say no, and be mindful of burning your candle at both ends, because baby, I've done it multiple times and it's not fun. Let's switch gears a little bit and talk about relationships. Now, believe it or not, I know I've never been in a when I was gonna say this in my mind, I was just like, you got it. But I've never been in a relationship before. Unfortunately, all my interaction with guys have always been situationships. And that sucked. Make sure you go watch my previous video, Don't Call Me Beautiful and Ghost Me, inspired by a jerk. But being said, I think the biggest piece of advice that I'm honestly giving myself is don't rush the talking phase. And that's something that I tend to do a lot. And I think it has to do with my previous situation with guys that just make me think that, you know, they don't really want to get to know me no way. So, you know, let me just skip all the BS and let's just get to what you really want. But that's not okay. Like, don't rush the talking phase. Don't rush that phase of getting to truly know someone, because if they're really there to get to know you and want a relationship with you, and, you know, not just relationship as an instantly like a relationship, but maybe in a friendship, any type of ship, don't rush the talking phase. Don't rush the phase of getting to know somebody. That's really important. It really is. Now, next lesson. On the other side, don't ignore the red flags. I'm saying it again. Do not ignore the red flags. I'm telling you and myself this because the one person who I came close to being in a relationship, baby, I ignored the red flags. Red flags will come back and bite you in your ass. But it's the truth. In terms of relationships, just because you no longer talk to that person doesn't mean that you're over that person. And this is something that I honestly learned yesterday when I looked at my life and I was talking to one of my amazing friends. And she was just like, you know, why do you entertain the guys that you do? And I was like, well, you know, my last guy, I was so hurt by him, and it doesn't matter anymore because I can talk to him now and not even want him. Like, I don't want him. But then I had to sit down and really sit in my spirit and listen to what she had to tell me. And it came down to the fact that even though I don't talk to him anymore for a relationship, how the pain that I experienced and the trauma that I experienced within our situationship is still trickling down into how I deal with men today. So let me break that down a little bit more because that was a mouthful. So basically what happened in my past situation and how it burned me, I'm starting to let that permeate through how I look at relationships now. So I don't take relationships serious. I ignore the talking phase. I'm like, wait, hold on, wait a minute. I'm telling my whole life story right now. But I'm always gonna keep it real with y'all. Like I wanna do better. And I had to acknowledge that just because I didn't desire, you know, the last guy physically or any relationship anymore doesn't mean that I was over that pain. So always remember that just because you block them or, you know, stop talking to them doesn't mean that you're over them. You really have to do the work to get over that hump. Smooth sea never made a skilled sailor. So I encourage everybody who's ever been hurt by anyone that they wanted to pursue or wanted to be pursued by in a friendship, relationship, anything like that. Like, don't just block them or stop talking to them. You know, really do the work to make sure that you acknowledge what happened in the situation, in the relationship, and also do the work to continue to get back to the person that you used to be before them, that healthy person that you used to be before them. And it's possible. It can happen. I started my journey this morning. So we can go on a journey together. Now, to piggy off my previous lesson, the next lesson comes from my best friend, Alexis. She always says, Tay, in order to know you gotta go through. Excuse my French. But it's the truth. Like, in order to know things and be aware and have street knowledge, if you will, you gotta go through some things. And never be ashamed of what you went through. Never be ashamed of the pain. Never be ashamed of the hurt, because it created the person that you are today. So, you gotta go through some to know some. To piggyback off that again, another one of my best friends, Cass, loves to say, Tay, what's for you won't pass you. Honestly, I need to ask her who taught her that, because that is the most simplest thing, but yet the most powerfulest thing. Like, I love when she tells me that, because it just reminds me to be present in the moment and to realize that everything that is for me, everything that's already written by God is going to be for me, and nothing that I do. And I really want to make that clear. Like, nothing that you do, no one that you encounter is going to stop what's for you. So that trash boss, that trash guy, that trash girl, whoever, they're not going to stop your blessing. They're not going to stop you from having a successful, high-paying job. They're not going to stop you from having a healthy relationship. That jerk is not going to stop you from having a healthy relationship. Always remember, what's for you is not going to pass you. So give yourself some grace. And then even in saying that, that's actually going to be the next lesson, giving yourself some grace. This is my new favorite thing. 2020, out of every single year I've ever lived on earth, even the ones that I couldn't even talk yet. The greatest lesson that I've learned is giving yourself some grace. We are not perfect. We weren't created to be perfect. We weren't created to be just this amazing robot that can't ever mess up. Like, you're gonna make mistakes, and it's okay. You're gonna fall down, and it's okay. But what creates that amazing person that I know that you can be is that you get back up, that you acknowledge where you were wrong, you acknowledge where you made the mistake, and you keep moving forward. Honestly, bro, it all plays into each other. Like, literally, it all plays into each other. Being present where your feet are, knowing that what's for you won't pass you, and also remaining where your feet are. Look down right now. Oh, I need a pedicure. But look down and be present in that moment right now. Be proud of how far you've come. You made it to 2021, bro. Like, that's freaking awesome. And give yourself some credit for that. Pat yourself on the back, because baby, if you don't, if I see you in person, I will. Because honestly, we just need to give ourselves one big like self hug, because we made it. We're here and we're trying, and that's enough. Baby, I be getting so pumped when I be talking to myself. Like, these are things I say to myself every day to remain solid, to remain 10 toes, because life gets rough, bro. Like, stop playing. Like, stop trying to create this persona that everything is always going to be okay. And it's not meant to be. You know, you're meant to go through hardship. You're meant to go through trials and tribulations. But for every negative thought, there is a positive thought. And it can get better. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Am I a freaking preacher? Let's move on, because I keep going. Let's move on to the next lesson. Next lesson. Life never stops being an opportunity to learn and grow. And I think that that's something that we really do have to remember, especially when hardships come. Like, we're not meant to know everything. We're not meant to be perfect. We're not meant to have the answers to everything. Like, it's never going to be a time where you're not going to learn or you're not going to grow for the betterment. I always say that, for the betterment of yourself. So whether you are 5, 15, 55, 65, 95, 105, every day you can learn something new. And always be open to that. Always be open to learning something new and growing. Next lesson, forgive yourself. No matter what happened, the past, whatever it was, forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. And I'm actually going to tie this into the next lesson. This is something that my best friend Deanna recently taught me. And I remember she said it just like this. She says, Tay, you can't keep getting mad at yourself for the mistakes you've made in the past. You've done it already. It happened. You're not going to get that time back. Move on. Forgive yourself. And now let's continue to, create somebody who won't make that mistake again, or will think twice about making that mistake again. So forgive yourself for what happened in the past. And don't continue to revisit that. Don't continue to revisit that hurt or that pain or that anger. Forgive yourself. Keep moving forward. And that was one of the best things Deanna ever said to me. And I hope that you guys receive that message like I did. Because when I did, I was crying. I was like, oh my God, Deanna, you're right. I need to stop. I need to shut up. But forgive yourself. And just say it out loud. Just say, Taylor, I forgive you. I forgive you for not knowing what to do in that moment. I forgive you for making that decision. I forgive you for not being smart at that time and that moment. And it's okay. Greet yourself with a smile. One of my best friends, Taylor, once told me, she said, you know that you have forgiven yourself when you can greet yourself with a smile. So forgive yourself and greet yourself with a smile. Forgiveness is not for anybody else. Like, you should not ever want to forgive yourself or forgive people because you feel like that's what you have to do, or because that's the right thing to do. Forgive yourself because it's the right thing to do for yourself, because you need to have that peace. When you go to sleep, you don't need to harbor that anger or that frustration. It's for you. It's for your own peace of mind. Not just because somebody told you to. Like, I used to be that person. I used to be like, well, my mama told me to say sorry, so sorry. And I do it again in like a couple of days because I really don't care. I just did what my mama told me to do. But once I really realized, okay, I'm sorry because that really wasn't nice. And I don't want to be somebody that's not nice. Or I'm sorry because X, Y, and Z. So forgiveness is not for anybody else. It's for yourself. The next lesson is from one of my all-time favorites, King Nipsey Hussle. And I remember he said in one interview, he said, keep your mind pure, keep your heart pure, and show up. And that is really something that I repeat every single day, especially before I go into work. Like, keep your mind pure, keep your heart pure, and show up. And you can apply that not just in going to work, but to everything in life. Like, you can't go into situations thinking the negative, or thinking that someone's going to hurt you, or thinking that, something bad is going to happen. Like, you really have to always go in with pure intentions. And that is so easily said than done. Like, I literally had to fight myself with myself to make sure that I keep my mind pure and keep my intentions pure. And in that, the other part of the battle is showing up, because you can literally talk yourself into oblivion, and not, is that the right word? An oblivion? Talk yourself into negativity and then, not even show up to whatever it may be. So always practice keeping your mind pure, keep your heart pure, and show up. And I think the first step to that is acknowledgement. So it's so beautiful, man. Like, keep your mind pure. I never think or go into situations thinking that people just want to harm me. Now, I'm aware of my surroundings. I know who's around. You ain't going to play me, but I'm going to keep my heart pure. And I'm not going to, feel a way about you until you give me a reason to feel a way about you. And once you give me that reason, it's up and it's stuck. Don't make the mistake. That was kind of mean. But my point is, keep your mind period, keep your heart period, and show up. One of my good friends, Dara, told me recently that changed my life. She said, you know, jobs are transactional. And I think that is something that a lot of people really don't realize. If you leave, your job's going to replace you. And whether you leave on a bad note, I don't know if you're like me and you've been let go, but they're going to replace you. So don't ever work too hard. Don't ever burn your candles at both ends. I don't want to say too much about this topic, only because I think that just within that phrase, like, jobs are transactional, that's enough. Just always choose you first. Don't overwork yourself. And remember that if you're not there, you will be replaced. One of my favorite things to always remember is that life is a fight for territory. And once you stop fighting, the things that you don't want to win will take over. So every day we got to get up and we have to brush ourselves off and just keep going. Like, we have to continue to fight for the good territory. We have to continue to fight for the person that we want to be. Continue to fight for love. Continue to fight for our integrity. Continue to fight for better jobs. Continue to fight for justice, equality, all of that. We have to continue to fight, because once we stop all the things that we don't want to happen, that's what's going to win. So keep fighting for the territory and know that that battle is never going to end. It's never going to end. It's going to be a continuous battle. But welcome that battle. Like, I don't want to make it sound like it's a bad thing. Like, it's a battle that you want. You want to continue to fight for territory. And you want to continue to always do what's right. At least try your best to do what's right. Top 5 lessons. Ooh, we only got 5. Why does my hand look so freaking big right now? Weird. Top 5 lessons. Another one from Cass. When people show you who they are, believe them. If it's a duck, if it walk like a duck, talk like a duck, quack like a duck, it's a freaking duck. And I think that is probably it's not anymore, but it used to be one of the hardest lessons for me to understand, because it's like, I want to mold them, I want to shape them, and I want to save him, and I want to be this for him, and I want to show him this, that, and this, other. But baby, if it quacks like a duck, it's a duck. So I don't even know no other way to put that. I don't even know how to explain it. You have to believe what people show you. And it's not going to be in their words, because talk is cheap. It's going to be in how they breathe. It's going to be in how many times they blink. It's going to be if they show up. It's going to be if they respond in a timely manner. Small things like that. It's going to be if they want to wake up and cook you breakfast. You know what I'm saying? Like, do they really care? So pay attention to the signs. Don't ignore the red flags. And always remember that when people show you who they are, believe them. Believe them wholeheartedly. The 4th lesson to count down with is that closed mouths do not get fed. If you want something, you have to speak up and say it. Because can't nobody read your mind. None of us are mind readers. Maybe that's so Raven, but that wasn't even real. Like, you have to say what you want, say what you mean, and stand on it. Closed mouths do not get fed. If you are at a restaurant and you don't like your food, don't eat that. Let somebody know, hey, this sucked. 9 out of 10, they're probably going to bring you another plate. And I know that's simple and it's kind of a cheesy example, but it's that simple. Like, closed mouths don't get fed. People can't read your minds, and you have to speak your mind in a respectful way and hope that the outcome is what you want, and not just what you want, but it's also positive. And it ain't hurting nobody or infringing negativity on anybody else. But closed mouths don't get fed. Speak up for yourself. Next up is that on the other side of fear is greatness. Just about with every single accomplishment I've ever had in my life, I was probably scared to make that step. Like, even when I moved to Atlanta, like, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to move here, a new city. I don't even, know what to do first, but I'm going to do it. And I found so much confidence, and I found so much new knowledge, and that's greatness. When I moved to Miami, I had no friends moving to Miami, but I said, hey, look, I'm going to do it. I'm going to face this fear. And I left Miami with a host of friends, and friends that are not just friends, but they're family. So whatever it is that you want to pursue, whatever it is that you want to do, whatever it is that you think that you're good at, that you want to bring forth in this world, do it. On the other side of fear is greatness. There's never going to be a good time to start. You're never going to be ready to start. You're never going to have all the knowledge in the world to start. Just start. Start right now. Don't be afraid. Somebody's going to feel it. Somebody's going to like it. You're going to love it. And that's what's going to radiate that greatness from whatever it is that you have to bring to the world. So just remembering to always take that leap. Never be afraid of that leap. Take it. Because on the other side of fear is greatness. Lesson number 24 is to love those who love you. Now, that does not mean that the people who don't love you, that you got to be mean and rude to. But what that means is to pour into the ones who pour into you. Water those who water you. And acknowledge that no one owes you anything in this world. And I think that's why I always just honor my friendships and honor my family members who I do have relationships with, because you don't have to stick around. You don't have to be around. You don't have to choose me just because we have certain things in common. So I do my best to continue to pour into my friendships and my relationships, because I love those who love me. And love is the most powerful substance, the most powerful form of anything in this world. It is just about the answer to everything. It's love. So always be mindful of how you say things, and always be open to hearing feedback and constructive criticism from the ones that you love and the ones that you trust, and love those who love you with an open heart and fearlessly. The last lesson of the night is very simple. It is very easy. And unfortunately, it might not be for everybody. But for the ones who it is for, I want to say this, and I want to say this with all the confidence in the world, and that is to keep God first. No matter what you do, always seek Him, always acknowledge Him, always thank Him. Start your day by saying, thank you, God, for giving me another day. End your night by saying, thank you, God, for having me make it through the day. And it's just that simple. Keep God first, acknowledge God first, and never be afraid to talk to Him. Because baby, me and Him, we be going at it, because I'd be like, look, I appreciate that. But then he'd be like, well, let's talk about it. So always keep God first, no matter what. We made it through 25 things that I've learned in 25 years. Oh my God, I'm getting ready to be 26. That is crazy. I'm just so excited for year 26. I'm ready to take it and grab it by the cojones and just go in, baby. Get in my bag. Like, just live, enjoy life, travel. Don't let anything hold me back. Move wisely, move smartly. Love on those who love me. Love hard. Be a better daughter. Be a better sister. Be a better friend. Be a better co-worker. Just be a better woman all around. And one of my personal goals is to deal and look at relationships differently, because like I mentioned before, I do not have a healthy understanding of what a good relationship and a healthy relationship looks like. So that's my personal goal that I will be working on every day, is to cut the tomfoolery and to truly do soul searching, and not necessarily be in search of a relationship, but be in search of finding myself and finding how I will be within a relationship, and loving myself with or without a relationship, and accepting all that I am, and always, always showing a sis. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss another video. I'm so excited for what I have planned this year for Show It Sis, for other businesses I'm getting ready to launch. It's gonna be crazy. So buckle up, strap up, and get ready, because I'm taking over 2021. We're all taking over 2021. This is our year. So I see you guys soon.
And if the beat live, you know Lil Juke made it.